and then keep moving with your day, smelling as beautiful as you did first thing in the morning. There are two spots that I love for that, and that is under your boobs, and then that cute, adorable little spot where the top of your thigh meets the bottom of your booty cheek. All the more so if you're not going to bed alone. Do it for yourself. Don't wait for that. But let's not, not mention the fact that if you are going to be going to bed with someone else that evening, yes, I hand it to you like you can smell it. It's that good. I'm trying to get you to smell it through the screen. The only place I wouldn't do that is right in the area of your hoo-ha. It makes me feel incredibly sexy. I feel like that woman, that as you come near her, you're just like activated. What's up, dolls and dames? Ms. Roxy Star here, back for you again today with another video. And today we're going to talk about perfume. Specifically, what I have for you are 9 perfume tips to help you smell beautiful all day long. Some you may have heard before, and they're just a reminder. A few are hacks that there's a good chance you've never heard before, and you're going to be amazed by how well they work. The other thing I'm going to share with you during the video is a brand called Skylar Perfume. It's the biggest clean fragrance brand that is a subscription service, and this isn't sponsored. They're not paying me for this. I am just sharing this with you because they gifted me some of their fragrance, and I love it. It's a really good price point. It's very clean and easy to wear if you have any sensitivities. So I'm going to tell you about that as well. But first, let's start off with some of these tips, 9 tips about perfume to help you smell beautiful all day long, and some really amazing hacks that will help the perfume go the distance. If you are watching me on your laptop, I want you to grab your phone or your iPad. Vice versa, if you're on one of those watching me, I want you to grab your laptop, go to Instagram and follow me there while we're thinking about it. It's at Ms. Roxy Star on Instagram. Also, while we're thinking about it, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Right below is a button that says subscribe. Okay, let's get into it. Tip number 1, we're going to start with something you may not have heard before. This is not, I should say, for when you're trying to be subtle, you're in the office, maybe you're going to a doctor's appointment, you're going to be on an airplane. That's not what this is for. This is for those moments when you want to make an entrance and you want the scent of your gorgeous perfume to make as much of a statement as the makeup you did and the clothing you're wearing, okay? That's what this is for. And that is to take the fragrance all down the sides of the body. So all the way down the right and all the way down the left, not as much concerned about it being right in here. And the reason for that is that as you walk through a room, there's a bit of like the air goes past you, almost like a breeze, right? Well, what happens is if it's sprayed all down the sides, it's going to, that small breeze you're creating with movement is going to be moving that fragrance off of each side of you out into the room. And if you put on a ton of perfume up here because you really want to like rock your perfume that day, and then you try to go walking around, you're going to choke your own self out because it's all here. So this also saves you from the insanity of ODing on your own perfume throughout the day. Tip number 2 is slightly more common advice, and yet I bet there's a lot of you who have never heard it, and that is to moisturize first. One of the easiest ways to waste your perfume is to put it on dry skin. So you can use anything from a basic oil to a basic lotion. Obviously avoid anything with fragrance in it, just kind of something very simple that's going to moisten the skin. The oils and the moisture ingredients in these products grab onto the perfume and hold onto it. So that is tip number 2. Moisturize, hydrate the skin before you apply the perfume. Tip number 3 has to do with making sure your hair smells as good as your perfume, but there's an important part of this trick, okay? You don't want to spray perfume directly into your hair because there's alcohol in it that can be drying. What you're going to want to do is spray it on your brush, okay? The alcohol will evaporate off the brush, and then you can brush the fragrance through the hair. So the essential, parts of the perfume will stay in the brush, but the alcohol will evaporate off, and then at that point you can brush wash the fragrance through your hair. So just be careful to do it that way so you don't end up drying your hair out. Okay, the next one, there's a good chance you've never heard it before. So here it is. It might be exciting for that reason. And that is the appropriate way to put the perfume into your intimates. So your bras, your undies, your waist trainers, your camisoles, those kind of things. You might be tempted to just kind of spray the fragrance onto the garment. A lot of that is going to evaporate off, again, because there's a lot of alcohol in fragrance. And at the same time, because they're thinner, lighter, less sturdy garments than regular clothing, you're kind of putting a lot of the essential ingredients into the textile and the fabric. So my recommendation is to use a roller ball and roll this into the seams and the elastic. So the top of the elastic, the side seams, the areas that are closest under the armpit, around the center of the waist trainer, basically anywhere there's a seam, roll the fragrance and it'll be dense enough in the way it's sewn to really suck some of the liquid or the fragrance in and then hold it there. The only place I wouldn't do that is right in the area of your hoo-ha. You don't want to really go right into there. That could be some irritation, but pretty much anywhere else you should be fine. So rollerball it in. So you probably noticed that I was using Skylar's Boho Bloom as the example for that tip on how to use a rollerball to your advantage to smell beautiful all day. And that gives me a quick moment to tell you about Skylar because I really like this service. So it's $20 a month and you get a new limited edition fragrance every month for that amount. It's really easy and flexible. You can cancel at any time. You can pause at any time. You can add on to the shipment at any time, which is really, really great. They do sell full sizes of a lot of their fragrances. And I just love the idea of something new every month for $20. I mean, I spend on average for a full-size bottle of perfume, easily $125 is what a good one will cost, even upwards of that, quite frankly. And so the idea of trying a new one every month for just $20 is incredible. Not only that, but think about the overall investment. If you did that for a whole year, you would spend only $240 total on a full-blown fragrance library. You would have 12 fragrances for $240. I mean, I just look at it as almost like an investment plan for fragrance. And that is really, really useful because then you can layer, which brings me to tip number 5 for perfume hacks, and that is layering. A really excellent way to layer your perfume is to do fragrance over top of fragrance. That can really not only bring around something that's way more unique and yours, no one else in the room is going to have layered it precisely the way that you have, but it's also going to have that staying power in that you're layering scents together. Now, if you're a perfume aficionado and you know how to do that, great. There's definitely a method to the madness so you don't end up smelling super weird. However, what I love about Skylar is if you don't know how to do that, they put it literally on the back of the box. So here's an example, right? You've got sun shower. I'll tell you what I think of these individual scents at some point. Just stand by on that. But here it literally tells you right there, Isle and Meadow go great with sun shower, and sweet incense goes great with arrow and isle, and so forth. So I also really like that. Not only do you have this beautiful wardrobe and library of fragrance, but they tell you exactly how to layer them, which is excellent. Tip number 6 is very common. You've probably heard it before, but it's so important that we absolutely can't leave it out. And that is the way in which you store your perfume. The 3 words you want are cool, dry, and dark, not hot and bright. Okay, so that means don't put it in the sun, don't put it in humidity, don't put it anywhere where it's gonna get too much light and get too warm, because that will compromise it. It really will. Please try to avoid that. And you're saying, does that include the bathroom? Because that's where I shower and I like displaying my perfume in there. Yes, absolutely. It includes the bathroom. That is not the place to be storing your perfume. Cool, dry, dark. Okay, you're going to get a lot more longevity out of it, and the essence of it will remain. It'll be in its purest state the way it was supposed to be when they made it. Number 7 is one you probably haven't heard before, and I love this one. spray the perfume in your sheets before you make your bed in the morning. I would focus mainly, obviously, in the areas where your shoulders, your chest, your torso lie. Your perfume on your pillow is also going to work. It just depends on, whether or not you have any sensitivities to it. If you do, lower down in the sheets and not on the pillow. It's really just such a mood, to have that when you pull back the blankets, notwithstanding the fact that all the more so if you're not going to bed alone. Do it for yourself. Don't wait for that. But let's not, not mention the fact that if you are going to be going to bed with someone else that evening, how nice if you pull back your sheets and that beautiful perfume rises up. It's a vibe, right? It's a mood. And actually, that's a good spot for me to tell you about the mood that I get from these 3 scents that Skylar sent me. The only way I could think of really to describe this is kind of who I feel like when I wear it. Like, what woman am I when I'm wearing this fragrance? So we're gonna start with Boho Bloom, okay? Boho Bloom is a very clean, pretty, simple scent. It's not overly complex or contrived or anything like that, okay? Yeah, it's really, really almost like, it doesn't smell like clean laundry, but it's that sense of like clean and fresh and simple. So what I feel like when I wear Boho Bloom is sort of that woman that's like, she's attractive, but she doesn't particularly seem interested in any interest around her or any particular advances. She's just sort of moving through life, very pulled together, very buttoned up, nice, clean, fresh, pretty, and just moving through life with a confidence, a quiet confidence. So not to say that that's who you will be wearing Boho Bloom, but that is how I feel when I have Boho Bloom on. Okay, next is Sun Shower. The woman I feel like, the person I feel like when I wear Sun Shower is like a goddess who is super sexy but unattainable. Just that enigmatic, sexy, just vibrant woman that walks through the room. She's just special. And you look at her and you go, oh my God, she's just stunning and gorgeous, but I don't even think I could get close to that. Oh, yes. I hand it to you like you can smell it. It's that good. I'm trying to get you to smell it through the screen. The third and final one I want to show you is Sweet Incense. Now let me stop you right there in case you're like me. When I read the word incense, I was a little bit uncertain. Incense isn't a fragrance I associate with wanting to wear, but don't let that throw you off. It's a vanilla base and it's gorgeous with a vanilla base. And side note, in case you didn't know, vanilla is one of the best selling, I think it's actually the best selling base scent of all time. And that's because most people like it. People that don't even realize they like it. And that's because it has a very, it's a magnetic quality that kind of draws people to it. When I think of Sweet Incense, the way I would describe that is it's got almost like an animal magnetism to it. Have you of course you have. When you are making out with somebody and you catch a scent of their fragrance and it's so perfectly formulated for sensuality that when you smell it on their neck, you kind of want to lunge. That's just like, that kind of thing, It makes me feel incredibly sexy. I feel like that woman that just has a fragrance that as you come near her, you're just like activated. Tip number 8. Take your fragrance with you when you leave the house. That probably sounds like so ridiculously obvious, but here's some things to think about. If you're going shopping and you have the option to buy the full size and the rollerball, and you're kind of on the fence, like, should I just get both? I definitely would, because you're already investing in something you can use at home. Get the rollerball and take it with you if that's an option. Also, if it's not, there's a couple of cool little tricks you can do that involve cotton and a baggie. So you can either use a Q-tip or a cotton ball. And what you're gonna wanna do is spray and saturate that with your perfume, put it in a baggie and take it with you. As long as it's sealed and airtight, when you go to pull it back out later in the day, it's still gonna be damp and you can either graze your skin with the Q-tip, or if you're like me, I'm super extra with my perfume. I just don't like it to be subtle. That is not my personality. If you're like me and you're more likely to carry the cotton ball, take that out and it'll be more saturated and you can really dab and reapply and then keep moving with your day, smelling as beautiful as you did first thing in the morning. And again, as a reminder, another good reason to try the Skylar service, because they do roller balls and they sell full size of fragrances. Their returns, by the way, and exchanges are free and easy. So if you ever needed to swap something out, you could do that. I also want you to know about the brand that the Scent Club, the $20 a month, every month, a portion of the sales is donated to a charity. So keep that in mind. If you do this, you are also giving back by joining this club. My final tip, number 9, has some advice in it that is very standard. You've probably heard before, but I'm going to give you some more details about the why behind it so you really understand. Now, first of all, you know you're supposed to put it on certain pulse points, right? But why? Like, I knew for years I was supposed to do that, but I really didn't know why, okay? So the point is, when the skin is thinner and the veins are closer to the surface in certain areas, it's warmer on that part of your body. That heat from the blood running so close to the surface helps trigger and activate the fragrance, the heat and the blood flowing closest to the surface. So areas that you would put it on are going to be behind the ears, the sides of the neck, the insides of the elbows, behind the knees. Now, there are 2 spots that I love for that I don't think I've ever heard recommended, and that is under your boobs and on that little like crease below your butt cheeks, right? So under the boobs, think how hot and sweaty that gets. First of all, like that, you know how that goes in the summer. So you know there's a lot of heat going through there. Why not take a spray or a roller ball and just hit the bottom of the boobs? Ladies, your fragrance is gonna get activated there. And then that cute, adorable little spot where the top of your thigh meets the bottom of your booty cheek, taking some fragrance right there, that area as you stand throughout the day gets really warm. Also, last but not least, relevant to this tip is how to spread the fragrance once it's on. Meaning, if you do this, don't ever do that again. Like, never do that again, please, because it is the worst thing you can do. Fragrance is comprised largely of molecules. And what happens is, when you do this with your perfume, you're bruising the molecules and you're changing the scent, and it is not the beautiful concoction that it was initially when it was made. So what you really want to do is, when you put it on, whether it's here or anywhere else, you want to press it together. Now, that's a really good reason to do your wrists last, not first. So let's say, for example, I'm putting it in the elbow and I want to dab it. I can either do this and press it together, or I can take my wrist and press it. And that's true anywhere else. If you put on the side of the neck, you can press with the wrist. If you put it under the boobs, you can press with the wrist, wherever you're putting it. So definitely keep in mind, it's a good idea to do the wrist last, because it's like your tool. You've got your fragrance and your little tool and you're dabbing all over the body. So that's tip number 9, my final tip. Okay, I hope these perfume tips help you figure out how to smell beautiful all day long and get the most out of your perfume. Also helpful if you decide you want to try Skylar. And like I say, this isn't sponsored. I'm doing this because they gifted me this and I really love it and want to tell you about it. If you decide you want to try it, use code 50 Roxy, and that will get you 50% off your first month at Skylar on the website. The code and the link will be in the description box below. And again, it's 50 Roxy for 50% off your first month. Also, you might want to keep in mind, this is an amazing gift option. So if you have holidays coming up like Mother's Day, birthdays, holidays at the end of the year, whatever the time of year may be, this is a gorgeous gift. You have 3, 6, 9, or 12-month subscription options. You just pay for it flat out for the person. And think about it, not only do they get the gift the first time and it's part of the occasion, let's say it's Mother's Day, it's part of the occasion of Mother's Day that they get the gift, but then they're reminded of your generosity every month and how much you care about them, because it's a gift that keeps giving. So let's say it's Mother's Day. Okay, I got this. All right. And then in June, this came and I thought of you again, and I was thinking how grateful I am again for this gift. And then July, and so on and so forth. So I really love gifts that like month over month remind the person that they're special to you. So I'm big fan of that as a gift for other people as well. As we wrap up, let me go ahead and remind you, please subscribe to my channel. If you didn't do it earlier in the video when we were talking about it, smash subscribe now. Then you're following my channel, then you get more videos. And if you really like my content and you enjoy it, there's a bell icon. It looks literally like a little Liberty Bell. You're going to click on that, and that is going to send you notifications. So rather than me just popping up in your YouTube feed when a new video comes out, YouTube will actually notify you and be like, hey girl, Ms. Roxy Star just put out a new video. Also, go follow me on Instagram at Ms. Roxy Star, at MSROXYSTAR on Instagram. Follow me there. And by the way, if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn, so am I. Just search Roxy Star and you will find me. I am also on those platforms and I would love to interact with you there. Last but not least, leave me a comment. Tell me which was your favorite perfume tip. Tell me which one you've tried before that you've loved. Tell me the one that surprised you the most that you'd never thought of or never heard of ever before. Tell me what you think of Skylar. Ask me questions about the service if you would like. I'm here to answer questions. Whatever your comment may be, talk to me down below in the comments because I literally love interacting with you. That's it for now. Ms. Roxy Star signing out. Love and glitter, and I'll see you soon.